Okay. Um, Hi, this is Anetor, and this is another workflow automation. Um, so more specifically, I wanted to build a retrieval augmented generation RAG. I'm sure most of you have heard of RAG before, and one of the things that I think is fascinating about building a RAG. Let's just quickly. I hope you all can see this. What is RAG? Augmented Generation. It's a way, when you come to things like ChatGPT, right? And you search for what is the capital of Mozambique, what is the definition of this and that, it's able to give you that, right? But what if you are trying to get more specific knowledge that you may not find online, right? What if you're trying to get proprietary knowledge? What if you're trying to get knowledge that's defined or confined to an organization, a company that may not be found online? Now, one of the things AI models try to do, like ChatGPT, they try to give you an answer even if they do not know. Like, for example, it says this method is for improving AI generated answers by combining some steps, retrieval. It searches a specific knowledge base, right? So what this does is it's almost like asking a question, but then the question is defined to a specific knowledge base, not just the general knowledge online. And then AI, then the second part is generation. AI uses to retrieve information as context to produce more accurate and grounded answers. This is very critical because one of the beautiful thing, the difference now, let me say it this way. One of the reasons Google searches are down and ChatGPT or Grok for search for questions for getting answers are much higher is because of context to provide or produce more accurate and grounded answers, right? If I want to search what is the meaning of before now, if I wanted to search what is the meaning of RAG, what does Google do? Google gives me a bunch of links that I need to go search. Sometimes I'm overfed with a lot of information that I'm unable to piece together, right? But now with ChatGPT, if I ask this kind of question, it gets the information, gives me in a way that I may or that I can understand, right? So that is what this thing is about, and so it has always fascinated me how this can help. So I was thinking of a company like this, Reccur. Sorry, it's a payment company, right? And I was gonna say if I landed here for the first time and I wanted to know what they did, I should be able to have a place on their website where you just click, and then as you click, you're able to check. Oh, hi, what is what is this about? What do you do? How do I get money? How do I sign up without having to read and try to search and search, right? So these are some FAQs. Also, if you wanted to have FAQs in a way that is, will I say, more interactive with the client. You just have a chat box where I can just ask, okay, so how is this different from other policies, or how is it different from other applications? And then it's able to give me a good answer without having to interact with a live customer care agent, right? So this offers a layer of information that is always active, is always online. And so I built it's just a rag, and what the steps involved in this was simply there were two steps, right? The first part is organizing. Let me show you organizing the specific documentation set up for the rag, right? Where in this folder, this Google Drive folder, we put in whatever documents we want to see. If it's the what's it called? If it's the FAQs, if it's general information, if it's proprietary knowledge, we call it generally the knowledge base. That is where we want the AI to scan through and retrieve information. and generate answers for us, right? Remember, retrieve, augmented, generate. So here, how this workflow is. This is a Google trigger. Once we upload a file, we can download that file into we can download that file into this into our workflow, and then we have a Pinecone vector store. The Pinecone vector store helps us store our information or our data from the PDF file or whatever document into I would call it a very precise way that makes it easy to retrieve information. So there's a way um, 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 data is stored in a vector format, right? And let me see if I can get it here. Is this my pinecone? No, this is not my pinecone. Sorry, you can't use that. Don't worry about it. Is this my pinecone? Okay, yeah, this is my pinecone. Here you create an index. Okay, this is my index that I created after uploading that file. Create an index, get an API key from here. This is a different. I can create a video to show you more about how to get API keys and all, right? And you do that, and then based on the data that you have uploaded here on in the document, it breaks it up into different. Will I say here? It embeds it into different batch sizes, and it makes it easy for the AI to retrieve relevant information. Because one of the things to prevent hallucination is the AI is data should be stored in a way that is relevant. So relevant information are stored together. And I think I'm going to create a video on how to use Pinecone and how vector storage happens. So it gives you an idea. I don't want to get too technical there, but this helps us store it, right? We do our embeddings with OpenAI. This is for loading data loader, right? Load all input data, automatically detect by MIME type. This one I'm going to get into all of it. And this helps us split the data in a way that is easy to retrieve, right? I think the most important part is how it works. And I do not want to make this video too long. So this is the RAG. So essentially we have uploaded, let me see if I can find the drive. We have uploaded a document that shows or tells more, gives information about this particular application. Let me see if I can get it to open. Give me a second. Okay, it's trying to open. So you just have an overview of what we uploaded here. So you know when we start to ask questions like customers would, okay, this is like a knowledge-based document. It tells us about the company. These are some of the core features, right? This is the steps, how it works. This is the mission, this is the vision, and so on and so forth. These are the target users, security summary, right? Um, Use cases. These are FAQs that people typically will ask, and so on and so forth. And so when you have information like this that is kind of specific to this company, you want to build a RAG so that it's easy for customers to interact if you have like a chat box or whatever and get real-time information about your company without having to study a lot of books or study a lot of documentation. So this helps. So let me see if we're online. So what we did essentially is we have an AI agent here. This is the brain box, right? But here we're using an open AI, I think model 4.0 mini, right? This has a simple memory, and the tool here is this the vector store, right? And in this vector store, it helps us, it gives answers to the questions. It is what is connected to it is the Pinecone vector store that we I showed you earlier, right? And the model for that we're using is OpenAI chat model, and the embeddings is OpenAI chat model. I can explain this specific aspect in a different video, but let's see that this is working. So let's see what I would like to find out about this knowledge base, right? So let's say I want to ask, can I use Reccur for free payment online? Now, sometimes when people do videos like this, they copy the exact question and they just paste it, and it tends to give answers. I don't like to, so I'm going to edit this question a bit. Can I use Reccur for freelance payment? Okay, so is it possible to use? So it's not like you're doing like an exact thing. The AI should be able to understand this question to mean that, and should be able to give me an answer. So based on, sorry, it's a bit slow. Based on the knowledge that we have, it says yes, because ideal for freelance service payment USD or Euro from international client. If you have more questions, feel free to ask. So based on what we have here, yes, you can pay. Well, sorry, yes, it's ideal for freelance service USD or Euro for international clients. Perfect, right? Then I want to ask another question. What country in Africa? So it's good. So now this one is asking, based on the FAQ, can I use to pay teammates in Africa? Yes, you can pay teammates in Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, from America. So there are three countries here, right? So I want to specify and say what countries in Africa. Sorry, my colleague. Sorry about that. Can I send payments to using Reccur? So it's supposed to give me a list of three countries. And you can see that I didn't copy and paste the exact question. The AI is intelligent enough. Perfect. It tells me, yes, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and South Africa using recurring questions we ask, and so on. So it's pretty straightforward. There's a lot of things involved in getting it here, which I'll go to be more technical. But what this essentially tells you is, when you have very specific questions or knowledge base about your product, I think it has a better user experience if you're able to create like a RAG or chat box that helps answer questions without having to speak directly to a live customer agent. Like this is very helpful with like insurance companies that has lots of products, SaaS companies that has lots of products, and you want to be able to explain at least the basic knowledge to clients before they want to push further to get more. So that's where this helps. And you can ask any question. What is the security summary of this? What is the security summary? And you see, the reason this is necessary, this RAG is necessary, is if you go to ChatGPT and you just ask what is the security summary, it doesn't know the context. So RAG provides context for generating answers. This has a context. So you can see the security summary for Reccur includes, right? It knows what I'm asking that is for Reccur. Compliance such as tier one, know your customer, KYC, AML, which is where are we? Yeah. MPC, tier one, 247 system, liveness check, sanction screening, fraud, ISO, and so on and so forth. So it's helpful, and I think that this will end the video. And the next one I'm going to dive into give you something more technical, but this gives you an idea. What I want to do now is be able to connect this to a live website where the UI that you can see is from the website, and I'll show you how that works in the next video. So thanks. Okay.